Welcome back to the channel. This is my review for 1917, the war film by Sam Mendes, centering around a story in World War One. Two British soldiers are enlisted in a mission that basically the Germans have made a tactical retreat, and there's a company that thinks that they have them on the run, but it's all a trap, and it's up to these two guys to basically get them a letter warning them of the assault and to get them to back down from their attack, and they have less than a day to do it. So what this film brings is really a unique take on not just war films but any film, because it's shot by the wonderful Roger Deakins, who in my opinion is probably the greatest cinematographer of all time, or at least of my time, and Sam Mendes, who did Skyfall, as you can see on the poster there. They shot this film to make it look like it's one continuous shot. It's not. It's done with clever editing and clever filmmaking, clever cinematography, but it looks like really two, but it looks like it's all a continuous shot, as in the camera never breaks. From when the film starts to when the film ends, we are following our protagonists on this mission, really. And there isn't really set up. It's just 1917. You know, it tells you the date. It's like April 6th or something. I don't want to say that for sure. But we find our character. They are given a mission from the general, and they got to go. They got to go, and we got to go with them. And what this film does is that it really starts urgently, and it keeps that all the way through. It shows the urgency of war very clearly, not just the urgency, but the horrors of war. And it's, World War One was nicknamed at the time the war to end all wars, and it's, glaringly clear that that obviously wasn't the case. Not just that, but I think they show the horrors of trench warfare specifically pretty viscerally on screen. It's not the easiest watch, and it's not a movie that's going to leave you with a smile at the end. But I do think that it's a cinematic achievement. The lead of the film, or one of the leads that really impressed me, was what was his name? George McKay. I don't know him from anything else personally, but it was a pretty fantastic performance. They had Nina Gold casting this, who she's known for casting Game of Thrones, the Star Wars sequel trilogy that we just concluded in December, and so you have a lot of big names that I don't think you'd otherwise get if it wasn't for her and Sam Mendes, and that was really cool. You had Benedict Cumberbatch in a minor role, you had Colin Firth in a minor role, and really it's a small cast. You don't have a lot of actors in it, but everybody who's in the film leaves their mark. And, when they go through all these trenches and they're going through tunnels, I think you feel this sense of fear throughout the film, and it sticks with you, I've never served any time, but I know from hearing other people online who have served time that some of the scenes can be a bit hard to watch depending on your experiences, and that's completely understandable. So it's hard to say that this is a film that everybody will enjoy, because I don't know that, but I do think that I thought it was a fantastic film that's not only it's educational, it's scary, it's scary to watch this kind of thing, and they didn't hold back from showing what death does to people and how seeing these visual things can affect you, but they never have the opportunity to stop and take a breath. They just got to keep going because they know the stakes. And what I will say is that I think back to watching Daredevil on Netflix. The first two seasons, they had these big one-shot scenes, and I was blown away by them. And the first one was an actual true one-shot, no editing. It was just one take. The camera followed around. It was done very well. But the second season had another one where they did edit. They did sneak in, I believe, 2 or 3 cuts, but it looked seamless. And seeing them do that for 5-10 minutes is incredible to me. So seeing them do that for an hour 58 just blew my mind from a filmmaking degree, or from a filmmaking standpoint. So this film is really, it's a lot to take in. And it's not necessarily action-packed as you think a lot of war films, Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, but I think it certainly covers the same ground as far as immersing you in the story. There's not a lot of dialogue to a certain point. I'd say the first half is more dialogue heavy than the second, but every piece of dialogue matters. I think that the characters stuck with me. I've heard the complaint that they don't really stick with people. I just rewatched Dunkirk, which I do really enjoy, and that's a film where I don't think the characters really stuck with you very much. But not that it made the film bad overall. But I'm just saying, in this case, I think that the film definitely makes you feel attached to the central characters in this film, and the stakes never really go away. You always feel this sense of sort of remorse as you go on, and this sense of, as I said before, urgency and fear, and it's all displayed very well both through dialogue, excuse me, and through acting. So, I saw 1917 yesterday, 2020. If I would have seen it last year, it would have made my official list. It probably would have been in the top 5. Is it my vote for Best Picture? I don't know that yet. I think that that's still going to be Marriage Story, but I do think that if this film does end up winning Best Picture, I'll be happy. I'll be happy to see it. I think that, we've gotten so many World War I films and so many just war films in general, and to see someone do it in a different way that hasn't been done was something. It was refreshing. It was refreshing, and it's something that will stick with me, certainly. So I say that definitely go see this on the biggest screen you can. I saw it in IMAX, and each time there's an explosion or a bullet fired or simply the score adding to the emotions of the film, it really did make a difference. You can feel it in your chest. You can feel the sound, and it was just a whole experience. It was very it was something for the senses. It was really nice. And with the one shot aspect of it, how it looks continuous, it's something that I marveled at for the first half of the movie, but eventually it just got to a point where I was so immersed in the film that I didn't even think about it, and I was just so drawn in. It was probably less than halfway through, but I do think that it's something that film nerds in general will gawk at. I think it's amazing. But if you want to go see this movie, I highly recommend it if you're into war films or just filmmaking in general. I think that it is an achievement, and I think it's going to win a couple awards. So thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to see more, go to The Fan Awakens on Instagram, on Twitter, thefanawakens.com. You can find more reviews, both written and on video. And we have podcasts going. We have the Fan Awakens podcast, which is centered around Star Wars. And we also have the Film Fiend podcast. You can go check those out. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you, and I will see you next time.